So guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we have a very exciting video for you guys. I have just picked up the brand new Renault Megane. Slightly different to the other Renault Meganes, but I've just driven it here. I genuinely like this car, but we have a good look round before we actually take this thing out on the road. I will say, firstly, thank you so much to Harwood's on the Isle of Wight, the Renault dealership. They have given me the key to this for the day to see what I think of it, because again, I am a Renault fan. I have enjoyed Renaults in the past, big Clio, big Megane fan from previous generations. So let's see what the new 100% electric Megane is like. But first off, styling wise, what a lovely bit of kit. It also has these really cool ducts in the bumper here to actually let airflow go through and round the vehicle. We'll show you guys around inside the car. Door handle comes open there, all keyless as I have already said. These screens actually welcome you in such a cool way. Look at that. Splash of colour for the introduction into the new Renault Megane. And I'm going to start with the door cards. There is some really nice features that you'll probably gloss past, but ambient lighting, you can just about see it over here on that one there. But you have Alcantara just here, leather on the bits that your arm actually sits on in the car, with a nice little grab handle with a bit of plastic in there, and door bins with proper carpet in it, and I mean thick carpet. Now this vehicle isn't actually as big as you think it is. It's actually relatively proportioned, but the interior has had such a good use of space. As you can see in the center console, there isn't actually anything, because there's no gearbox linkage there, there's actually nothing in the way of you really spreading out in this. You have a big armrest that moves as you wish with these seats. The fabric center with a little bit of leather on the outside. These are so comfortable. Renault, in my opinion, has been fantastic at making really comfy seats for such a long time. Your really old Clios and stuff, they had insanely comfy interior, and this is no exception. Really comfortable inside. We will step in. Absolutely vast amounts of space in this thing, which I'm so impressed with. We'll shut the door, and as you can see, the steering wheel is sort of square, and weirdly, I don't mind it. I think it's quite cool to have the flat bottom, but a flat top as well. Something quirky from Renault there, but I think it works. Now, you do have a ton of stuff on this steering wheel that I will go through. You got cruise control, various bits to set the radar guided cruise control up this side, but you have various view through the center screen just here. You actually have a microphone because this car works with Google, so I can actually talk to the car and put my heated seats on. So if I don't want to press the button over there, I can literally press that button and say, okay Google, put the heating on, and it will listen. Okay Google, put the heating on.
Okay, turning on the heating.
And just like that, the heating's gone on. Absolute madness. So you don't even need to touch any of it. You don't even need to touch that button to actually get this thing doing pretty much whatever you want. Now, as we actually turn this on with the button just down here, you'll see everything light up. A load of toggle switches just down here that you can change your heating. You do have a wireless charging plinth here for your phone. And again, absolutely tons of room down here. But when I say tons of room, I genuinely mean you can get a couple of 2-litre bottles of Coke in there with room to spare if you wanted to. A couple of cup holders. You do have newer style USB ports just in there if needs be. Pop that back down, and it also moves into my lovely driving position. Now, interestingly enough, this actually has paddles on the steering wheel, but this is for the regenerative braking, so you can actually up and down the regenerative braking as you wish. So say you're going around town, you want it to kick in a little bit more because you're doing slightly lower speeds. This is a great way to actually put the aggression up or down on that with ease. And because you don't have a selector down here, it's actually up here, so it's really easy with, again, one hand to just put this into gear as you wish. Now the cars, I want to show you a few bits up here. You have loads of different modes: electric, air quality, driving assistant. Would go on air quality, air purifier. It's got an air purifier in it. How mad is that? You have a heated steering wheel just down here, parking assistance, vehicle, everything down to, you know, what you want your wipers to do. It is all accessible through here. An interface here that you can go through, look at podcasts, Google Assist, news, maps, everything you need for your Android phone there. Connect your phone if needs be, all of your music as well. Got Apple CarPlay in it as well. I have an iPhone, so that works out perfectly for me. And of course, you will have your maps just there with your Google Assist, just in case. Looking around the rest of the interior again, as I will say, lovely ambient lighting come up next to that Alcantara just there, but really cool material on top of the dash here. It makes it look a little bit more homely, not as plastic as maybe other cars. And as you can see, that strip of Alcantara actually comes right round the top of the car into the other side door card. But this material, it's a similar material or same material that's on the seats. I think it really works. Now we will show you the back of the car, because this is again in my driving position quite far back. But as you can see, there is tons of room in here. You still have the same materials as well that are in the front with the yellow stitching, which is really cool. Black headliner again. I say black headliners a lot in cars, but it's just one of those cool features that I like to see, and I think it looks good. I think it looks the part. I think it looks new, contemporary, and if you're after something that is fully electric, that's got all the gizmos and gadgets in it you could ever want, this is pretty much up there with one of the best cars you could get on the market at the moment. But we will take this thing out, see what it's like on the road, and give my impressions of the driving portion of the new Megane.
You do it so well.
So, jumped in the new Megane. Starting procedure is... it's now on. It's now on. I've left the indicator on. I'll put my seatbelt on. And the car says ready. There's 89% battery left, which is 180 miles it's showing. That will obviously change as you drive it. Into drive with the little gear stick at the top. Away we go. Off we go. Now, first things first. Love the screens. Screens are really cool. Changing the view is part of the new age car thing, where you've got a screen in front of you, put a map in front of you. Love the map. It is clear as day where you're going. You can have that in front of you. The view though can change to just the speed. Now I think that's really cool, because if you're on the motorway at night and you want to sit back and relax, just, you know, get on with your journey, there's absolutely nothing bar screen in front of you telling you how fast you're going and what the speed limit is on the road that you're on and what gear you're in, which is drive. That is it. I really appreciate that, because there's just like a little beam of blue and that's all there is. And sometimes you just want that from a car. There's points in your life where you want a car to just chill out like you do, and that's really cool. I like that feature. But today we will go back to the current view, which shows how fast you're going on the left hand side, your percentage of basically throttle, but it will come back down once you come off the throttle into power charge, and that's a cool feature. It's not revs anymore, it's percentage of power and charge power on your right hand side. Now we will come on to a nice 60-mile-an-hour bit of road, and I'll put my foot down, see what the 220 horsepower is like in the new electric Megane. Now a section of road up here, get up to some speed, so 20 miles an hour, put my foot down, 30, 40, 50. Ooh. Considering it says 220 horsepower, or what is equivalent to horsepower, that is incredibly fast. It is super impressive how quick these electric cars are, and now even in the Megane. Cool things to point out though from the driving position, tons of room, because you don't have that centre. Oh, a Repsol CBR, what a lad, love to see it. That is super cool, one of the bikes I always wanted. Anyway, coming down here, 40 mile an hour, loads of room. There is charging for my phone in front of me, the screen there. You've got a bigger screen for your centre display though, which I quite like. The centre display off to the side isn't as big as the central to the driver display. Sort of like that actually, because all of the information you actually need is in front of you, and that's the biggest screen in the car. I will try the assistance we have in here. So, okay Google, put on the heating.
Sure, turning on the heating.
Cheers, mate. Didn't even have to press it. Didn't even have to press the microphone button. the heating is now on. Okay Google, put on the driver's heated seat.
Sure. Turning on the seat heater for the driver.
Ha! That is super cool. I could very easily get used to that. That is an amazing feature. And let's see if this works. So, okay Google, turn on the heated steering wheel.
Got it. Turning on the steering wheel heater.
Amazing. That is the coolest thing. Again, a lot of cars, new cars do that. I like old cars, so I love to see it in a new car. It's just a cool feature. You don't actually have to take your hands, eyes, anything away from the steering wheel. Just tell the car what you want. And these talking instructions have come so far, and that is prime example that it's done exactly what I wanted it to. It just shows how far ahead these cars are. It can understand my jibber jabber that's coming out of my gob. Now as the day gets on and it's starting to get cloudy and a little bit overcast, the ambient lighting and the way this interior has been designed is starting to, you know, make more sense. As it gets darker, you are very immersed in the drive, not necessarily driving, because you are in the lap of, in my opinion, pretty much luxury in this. It is very comfortable, spacious, the materials are nice. The drive itself, I feel, is as it should be. Very comfortable in here, very refined, because it's an electric car, and I've said this in a lot of electric car videos in the past. They have to make sure that everything is quiet, because you're going to be able to hear it. I haven't got the radio on at the moment, and you can't really hear a lot. Yes, there's a little bit of rolling resistance with the tyres. It's on sat on Michelin, so I mean, you're going to get that in pretty much any car. But there's no noise from the wing mirrors and the wind that goes past them. Nothing crazy to report on the actual sound coming through the windows. I mean, it's a very, very quiet car, this, but you're going to notice that more than anything because it is electric. One thing that I do like that new cars are doing is the space and making you feel like there's more space than there actually is. This again isn't actually as big as you think it is. It's probably the same, similar size as that Mark 6 Golf there. It's just a little bit higher. You can get in and out of it easier. It's again what people want these days. For me, jumping in and out of this car all day, you know, I've shot a couple of cars today. This has been by far the easiest and simplest to get in and out, the easiest to start, the easiest to drive down the road, the easiest to pretty much do anything in. There is some interaction, although it is an electric car, there is some interaction from the drive. It's not dead, that's the main thing. There is actually something in this, but again, this isn't a sports car. It's not built and designed to be running laps around Silverstone. It's just built for this. There's a Waitrose right there. We'd just cruise in there, pick up a sandwich, come out, and on with your day. We're actually going down a really choppy bit of road, tons of cars down here and driven them down here, and this sometimes shows up a well-built or a well-executed car. I must admit, it is doing a fantastic job of being very, very quiet. So there we have it, guys, as I go over another speed bump. That is my full overview of the new Megane, the 2022 Megane. Something that if you'd have said in a car park that's the new Megane, I wouldn't have believed you. But the Megane was always sort of like the front and centre Renault product that was for the masses. Small little hatch that, you know, did everything. And I think they've executed the Megane name. But as ever, guys, make sure you like this video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't. I'm going to leisurely carry on down this bit of seafront, and I'll see you all on the next one.